Hello, Melanie. How are you? It's so great to hear from you again. If you hear anything in the background in the other end of the house, they are watching a film on loud volume, so it's just like some action back there. But let's see what's going on with this person that you're dating. We're going to see if it's not really the one for you. And then we're going to see what's going on in October. And then if you're going to move into your own house, I hope all is going well. And you did get some really good overarching energy for just what's going on with you. You have the butterfly card, you have the cat, and you have the lynx. Secrets, intuition. And I think this is about the soul. So this is saying you're going to be able to come to your own conclusions, understand things better, and really know what is meant for you. Because what happens is we need to redress a lot of things weekly, like as any behaviors in this new person that you're dating that would make you ask that question right away. Are you wasting your time? Like, why would that be the sentence that you chose? Oftentimes we'll choose a sentence when we already have an understanding. I feel like your soul knows what it's yearning for and what it would define as a perfect partner. And I really don't think that this card just flipped over. So I'm going to see what it is. Yeah, Seven of Wands. That's a card of conflict. So, yeah, I think that you have conflicted feelings about this person where they may have a lot of nice attributes. They may be very appealing in a lot of ways. There are certain things that might be lacking, like the way they make you feel. Maybe perhaps when you're having a conversation, you just feel you're not on the same level. You're not connecting in the same way. You don't feel your lives. It's about like not only compatibility, but attraction too, are those pheromones there where you look forward and you get butterflies because you're so excited to be around them. This card usually says too that it's conflicted passions as well. It's like what it excites you and makes you feel alive and great and excited for life may not do the same to them. So you feel like you're sometimes abiding and living by different blueprints, and it can be a little bit it's almost like if you come in the room and you're all excited about a topic and you're like, oh, you're not going to believe this thing I just discovered, learned, or saw. And they kind of give you this mediocre response of like, oh, really? Where you want somebody to be excited about the things you're excited about, to get revved up about certain things, and to just feel like they're with you in the same ballpark. It's that sort of thing. So let me see. I'm going to pull this wanted to fly out too. So I'm going to Nine of Swords. Yeah. See, let me pull a couple more. I do feel that there's, your major soulmate option is still out there. And that's probably why you know this too. This is the card of, before you get to the 10 of, Swords, you want to stop here. You don't want to be overthinking everything and be overcritical about your next action, what you're doing, what they're doing. Now, I always see this card as like the second guessing ourself card, but nothing is, and to also remember, nothing is our fault. Compatibility and accountability and being at the right place with the right person at the right time, that can start a certain way and then it can deviate. Like I bet when you first met, it was like, fireworks and lovely and all of that. And then as time progressed, certain things stood out that weren't as lovely or connective as you may have thought. Because again, that kind of shows that not necessarily, let me put this is an overarching card. Yeah, Ace of Pentacles, you have a new start coming. Your soulmate, that's still on its way. And I do feel like October, it's funny because I kept seeing O's and I kept seeing ones. And this is the thing, when you get your Ace of Pentacles moment, it's, divinely guided. It's this gift. And what this is saying too, that you're going to feel grounded and secure in who you are. But it is a totally fresh person, even though that you have had past life experiences with your soulmate. When they're coming in, this person that you're with is not the one, because they cause you the second guessing, this question mark. And like I said, it was very interesting how you chose the wording, am I wasting my time? So I feel like you already feel that a little bit. And oftentimes we intuitively know, but it's very strange how we we'll first get conflicted feelings like, well, I can change this, fix this, or spin it so it works in my favor, or this is just a lull. This is, a lot of couples use the term, it's just a phase we're going through. But oftentimes a phase becomes a pattern, becomes a behavior, becomes the relationship, right? Because it's like our thoughts become actions, and then they become deeds, and then they become a mood, which then becomes our personality. You ever hear somebody, oh, that's just grumpy, that's just their personality, because they have negative thoughts, they have all these thoughts that are burdensome, so they get crabby and grumpy, and that becomes their personality. It's the same thing within relationships. It's like what we start to allow becomes commonplace. So if we allow them to be dismissive or not really listening to us, I feel like a really good indicator too to know, please go check out some more Matthew Boggs, and if you see any, he has red flags, and I feel like some of them are, if you're having a conversation with them and they pick up their phone and they start scrolling or looking through it while you're talking to them. I always feel like that's an indication of a little bit of disinterest, where there's a disconnect. When you're enthralled and you're in love with somebody and what they have to say is important to you, you're not picking up your phone. You're not trying to redirect your energy or attention elsewhere. And I'll even have to do this, if one of my kids is going on and on about a subject matter that I'm not particularly interested in, but I love them. I'm not going to start looking at my computers and doing other things because I'm acting like they're wasting my time. You know what I mean? That's an indicator. Also, how do they look when you come in the room? Like, does their face light up? Are they excited to see you? I'm not saying they're ridiculous overboard, like, let me go get roses, but that thing, we know that intuitively, we know that we are really welcomed in a space and that people are excited to see us. Is that happening right now? Because I see a big, huge upswing for you financially, as well as what's going on within your new relationship that's coming in. In fact, I feel like this is going to peter out. I keep seeing July. There's something that's going to come up towards the end of July that you're just like, you know what? It's run its course. You're going to feel it. I definitely feel it. Six of Pentacles too. Yeah, it's funny how you're getting all this good grounding energy. And this is definitely your soulmate energy coming in with that. And Three of Wands, you planning the future. And oftentimes with this right in the middle of all this too, it's funny how the Three of Wands can go several different ways, but depicted where it is with the ending of this relationship. This is you evaluating your life and where you're going. What just doesn't light you up and make you so excited to be alive, and to disregard and get that out of your life? This is where we have to say, where are our new boundaries? What if we could have any type of person in our life, what would that look like? And is it in your life right now? And if it's not, then it doesn't belong there. I'm going to give you the craziest analogy I thought I'd ever give, because I never really watched Steve Harvey. But the other day I noticed he was coming up on the YouTube, and I was like, what does he do? And I was like, it was some of his shows. I didn't realize he had like an after show where he talks about certain teachings his mother, grandmother, and other people taught him. They were very lesson orientated in his family, and they would say certain things, and this made so much sense. And he said he would come home every single day, and you probably heard, I don't know if I talked about this in my video, and he'd say, Mom, I'm getting a new car. And she'd say, yeah, but you still have your old car in the driveway up on bricks. And every time he'd say that, Mom, I put away $10 for this. And she'd keep going on about the car he still has in his driveway. So basically what she was saying in the end was, he goes, well, what's the lesson? I understand why you keep saying that. And she said, you already have that space taken up. So how can you bring a new thing into a space that there isn't a void for? You have this old piece of crap that doesn't do anything but take up space. How can you bring something in? You have to create a void for it to come in. So he had his friend tow it, and within 2 weeks he had bought his new car. So that's the lesson in keeping in a relationship that doesn't really serve us. That there isn't a void there for our new person to come in, for our soulmate, for our person that's worthy of us to come in, if we're just keeping a hold of somebody in that space because there's a void. Oftentimes that's what happens too with women who date married men, and they keep thinking that, oh, they're going to leave their wife, and they accept and relegate themselves to, the breadcrumbs and all of that, and that whole thing, and it never pans out for them. And usually somebody who will leave a devoted love scenario for somebody will do that again and again and again, and you'll see that in a pattern. But this is saying, you have to have that void and be in a good headspace and have gratitude for who you are and where you're going for your new. And I feel like they're very prosperous as well. This money is not only them being stable, but you having your new house. That definitely comes in with that. You're planning your future, your Six of Pentacles leading up to that. And, also you being, this is a derivative of both you and your soulmate, his energy. I definitely feel like, it's a lot of air sign energy where they're very clean thinking. They're very creative. Again, do well with substantial wealth, and they hold on to it and they invest wisely. And you just making good decisions for your future, asking yourself what's the next best thing. What is, I always feel like this is like equal division of assets, like your time, your spiritual time, your, you know, your earthly time, all of that. You're making clear decisions on where should this attention go, where should this money go, and this time go. Again, I feel like the relationship you're in is going to slowly dissolve in July. There's going to be certain things that come up, and how you spend time together, you're going to notice either less attentiveness or less commitment, and it just seems wishy-washy. Like you said, you're going to feel like you're wasting your time. And again, you have to create that void and remove that person so your soulmate over here can come in. And the lovers, and all of a sudden you're going to start to feel, you know, your soulmate is very affectionate. They are very, it's one of those things where it's, you're constantly affirmed of their affection, love, and devotion to you through little gestures, wanting to hold your hand, bringing you home goodies. I mean, from the first moment you lock eyes, it's like you just feel like the only person on earth, and they consistently make you feel that way. And you deserve it. Everybody deserves that. And it also gives you that sense of calm and peace where you don't have to question their intentions or the longevity of anything or the devotion, because you constantly feel it there. It's always there, and it feels fresh too. I love the aces that come in because it feels like everything's a fresh new day, just like freshly folded white cottonelle laundry that just smells good and is, you know, cared for and all of that, as opposed to just an old basket full of old dirty laundry that is just like disregarded and ignored and seems like work, right? That's what I always take that analogy of a relationship, where it's just like it doesn't match and we're tired of making it try to fit when it doesn't. We know there's no longevity in it. We know there's no long-term devotion and love. And also, you know, we never even ask that question about our soulmate, because we always feel like we're standing strong, and we can, even though every single relationship can go through hardships, it's like it's undeniable that you wouldn't want to live your life with anybody else, that them exiting your life just wouldn't be or want to be an option for you. And that's coming, and you see that. I mean, that's one of the questions you're asking that too. An Eight of Pentacles, again, this is you getting grounded and taking all the lessons you need to take from things, and never dismissing your needs, always saying, listen, what is the next best thing for me? You know, am I caring for myself physically, emotionally? Am I accepting some things that are unacceptable? Do I keep pushing my boundaries and let people take from me or dismiss me or devalue me in any way? You know, that's a big question we always have to ask ourselves. We should never feel disregarded or, for, you know, overlooked. Now, another thing I love about Pentacles is like Eight of Pentacles, like in the main sheet, say it's about learning, hard work, and beginning. So you are, you know, you're beginning to traverse these new waters of independence, and knowing that it's not the person that's going to fulfill you and make you feel great in the first place. It's your attitude towards you. And I read this thing this morning that I really liked, saying, you know, when people judge us, it has nothing to do with us. It has everything to do with them, because judgmental people and critical people usually feel out of place. They feel out of sync. They feel unhappy. There's a lot of UNs in front of words, unsettled, on whatever. And that's why they feel the need to point fingers and judge, because they don't like what's looking back at them. And you're going to realize that's what's happening with a lot of people, that you can disassociate from that energy because it has nothing to do with you. It's other people's idea of what you should be, where you're going, who you should be with, all of that. But you're really taking care of you. That hard work of, let me discern 100% what I want and turn the corner to this new beginning in my future with my soulmate who's coming, and how we're going to create and save all our abundance and be together in a united, beautiful way. And let's see what's going on about moving too, because I definitely see that's on the agenda. Let's see what's going on with that. The world. So yeah, you see, I feel like it is also going to change your world when you move. It's that this is about so many things: happiness, joy, new beginnings, adaptation to new things, completion of cycles, you feeling stable, you feeling love, satisfaction, harmony, your dreams coming true, a new future, walking away from things that don't serve you. And I feel like that's what you're going to need and you're going to thrive with, is a new fresh perspective for sure. And I'm going to pull some fun cards. And again, I feel like, this is quite soon, with all your pentacle cards are saying you're grounded and ready and prepared for sure. And I love that you have the world, because it's saying you can make it happen. Now listen, the first thing we need in anything is a decision. When do I want to do this, and what are the steps I need to do this? Have your focus intention, but that's super important. But directly after that, we have to have some form of action. Are you garnering resources and money to be able to pay for this, or to borrow this, or whatever? Are you searching out viable places to live right now? Because that's the focus and intention, right? We have to choose a place. And are you really creating a beautiful visual of it in your head and saying, I want it to look like this. I want it to be near a beach. I want it to be near a forest. I would love it to be blue. It's funny how Colette Baron Reed was talking about her really needing to move all of a sudden to an apartment, and she started to visualize exactly what she wanted. She really wanted it. And this apartment came up, but it was like $200 above what she had available to pay for it. And for whatever reason, this apartment, even though it was everything that she wanted and what other people should want, it just wasn't moving. It wasn't shifting. So 2 months later, when she had gotten more clients and got enough money to do this, it was still there for her. So whatever is meant for us isn't going to go anywhere. And luckily that's what happened. She was able to then afford it, and it was everything that she wanted. So your dreams are coming true. You're going to be in the environment you want to be in, that is conducive and healthy and makes you feel independent. And I just see you decorating, being excited about it, and choosing your colors. But again, please start your envisionment process. What would make it ideal? What kind of environment? Do you love being by the water, by the forest? Do you love being in like a cul-de-sac at the end of the road? Do you want a fence, a pool? What would make it really cool? A front deck? Picture whatever, a hammock's in the yard. What kind of trees and flowers bloom there? All of that. Be as descriptive as you can. Or if it's in a building, what amenities are there? Is there a gym? What do you want? You really have to put the visualization in. And then keep thinking about it daily and have gratitude for the existence of this place, because it's yours, and to feel it, right? I feel like every successful actor and people that manifest things, they have a clear picture of what they want. Like Jim Carrey wrote himself a check for $10 million when he was going out to Hollywood, and he said, I'm going to make this in a blockbuster. And when he went and he was signed on for the movie Mask, that was his paycheck, $10 million. We have to attach the energy and the focus and the momentum towards things, okay? Because you are making your dreams come true. Now, parenting and children, I definitely feel like this will be involved in the process too. Most likely, with when your soulmate comes in, you may be starting a family, or they may perhaps even have one offspring. Although I feel like this is sort of what comes into the mix of your life there too. But this is you just breaking free. You need to make the decision. I know there's so much out there for me. I know my own beautiful home awaits me. I know my soulmate awaits me. I know brighter days and optimism and hope, and me stepping into my most powerful self. And I've got to tell you, this doesn't come easy. I've got to say, for decades, I worked for other people that totally undervalued me, underpaid me, and did all this. And even though I knew my worth and value, for whatever reason, I always felt obligated. And, I always had this hardcore belief that, if I did enough and did it well enough, that it would be respected and it would be accounted for financially and otherwise. But in the real world, it's like companies are always trying to save pennies. People always are taught as bosses that their employees are disposable, and not to, get to attach or praise anybody too much, or whatever happens. But for decades, it was one of those things that I didn't trust my own instincts, that I could go off by myself and make a, viable living off things that I have natural gifts for. First, we need to identify those too. Like, what are our natural gifts? That's what comes easiest to us with least amount of effort, and we do really well, right? Some people it's singing, some people it's real estate, some people it's tarot. It doesn't matter, but whatever that is, a lot of people think that they can't have a viable income from that gift. But most, of course you can. That creatives do it every day. Just think of people that decide they want to open a haberdashery or a button store, or silly things like that you think, how in the world did they do that? People do it every day. And now with so many online stores, you can basically have a store for anything, and if it fits that niche, you can do extraordinarily well. So break free from any of those restraints that you have on yourself, that tell yourself you're not good enough, strong enough, smart enough, and realign with soul's message. It is, of course you're enough, of course you can do this, of course you can have this, you deserve this all of that. Really set that message in stone for yourself and know that it's available. Nobody's going to stop you. It's time for your dreams, enjoyment, everything. And I feel like you're starting to know this. Let me pull a goddess card too. Yeah, you're going through a whole rebirth process where you're just becoming this strong, bright, happy, optimistic, capable person. And we do need to remind ourselves that we are this way and we can have these things and we will succeed and we will do amazingly. And it's important to keep reiterating that to ourselves so we can have all this. So I'm really excited for you, Melanie, because it's all in motion for you. And again, just remember, the dissolution of relationships that aren't meant for us don't need to be painful. They don't need to be harmful. We just acknowledge them for what they are. It was a learning experience and it was an experience to meet somebody. But again, it's like we have to pay attention to all those tiny details, how they make us feel, how they respond to us, the energy mix, all of that, because you have an amazing, amazing soulmate right there on the wings. And I feel October is your time for sure. And I find it's funny that that's shaped like an O. I definitely feel that's grounded. And when the leaves come down, and you're going to feel situated, and you're going to feel good and strong within yourself. And please watch as many uplifting videos as you can on everything, on self-esteem, any Marissa Peers, any Matthew Boggs on relationships and what to look out for, and how you can tell certain things within the requiem of a dream, because we get in there and all of a sudden we're like, we need to make this work. Oh, it's okay, I'll overlook that. And we should never settle and never overlook. We should always feel sound and loved and cherished and all of that. And that's what you're on your way to. Again, all this learning and hard work is going to pay off, and you're going to feel like this absolute phoenix from the ashes, like untouchable and stable and good and healthy. So I'm really excited for you. So I'm going to go upload for you. Love and light.